So into the home stretch we go, and Forest will take on Everton. Is this a must-win game? Let me know in the comments. Welcome to the preview. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your preview for Forest versus Everton, two heritage teams in the Premier League. Coming up, we'll talk you through all the latest injury news, the predicted Forest lineup, how Everton will line up, and who is going to win this one. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new here. And don't forget, if you want to be entertained for like 20 or 30 minutes, go check out my preview with Everton Mike. Honestly, something he said in there just absolutely killed me. I'll leave it on the end screen for you guys, so check that out. All right, let's jump into this. So, Nuno's done his presser. Nuno's pressers are getting more cryptic as we get towards the end of the season. It's to be expected. You don't expect him to show his hand, a day or two before the game. But he was talking about three players that are in, out, in, out, in, out. And that was Chris Wood, Taiwo, and Elanga. Now, he said they are close, but we have another day or two to assess them and all this stuff. All cryptic talk. Look, as far as I know, I'm expecting Chris Wood to be in at least the match day squad come Saturday. I haven't seen the team sheet, by the way, so this is just me saying what I think is going to happen. I don't think Elanga will be risked. I have no info on Elanga. I think Elanga may be put on the bench and used in the second half to create some pace. And the other thing I'm pretty sure of is we damn well better go to a back four. So those are the injury updates from Nuno. But I want to just say something on Nuno, because all throughout this season, whenever he's been asked about Forest doing this, Forest doing Champions League, winning the league, history making and what have you, he's always just said, next game, next game, next game. And I've noticed, and I don't know if you guys have, a little change in his persona in terms of his answers towards those questions. It's like he's now sitting there saying, I'm expecting this from the players. Not in those exact words, but he's not just, batting off those questions saying, next game, next game. Is that we could, we should, all these kind of phrases and what have you. And I like it. I like that. It shows to me a manager who is demanding high standards from his players, from this club, from the backroom staff. And that's exactly why Forest have been so successful this season. And in terms of the wider scheme of what can happen now, we're on 57 points. We need to get towards that 66 point mark. So we need at least one more win, because we do have that free win coming from Leicester as long as Ruud van Nistelrooy is still in charge. That would get us to 63 points. And you would expect Forest to pick up 2 or 3 draws at the very least from the rest of the games. So beating Everton, for me, one, creates an additional buffer. Now, Newcastle should, and I've got them technically 1 point behind us. But all these teams in and around us, just below us, will be playing each other. In fact, some of them will be playing Arsenal as well. So Forest are in a good position when it comes to the games that we've got. We've got only one top half team left to play this season in Chelsea. That's the final day of the season. So our next 6 or so matches are against bottom half teams. I do feel that we are cracking a bit under the away match thing. I feel like we're getting back towards those first season and a half when we first got promoted. But let's not downplay what the City ground has been like this season. Don't think we've lost since November. Was it against Fulham or Newcastle? I can't remember which one was the last one. But those are the only 2 teams that have beaten Forest at the City ground. And taking a point against Everton, I don't think is a disaster. But I do think 3 points just says, you lot beneath us, sort it out between yourselves. We're done. We're done. We're chasing down Arsenal. So that's kind of the stuff in from Nuno, and a couple of early thoughts for you guys to ponder, and get your comments in down below. As always, I love reading through them and getting your thoughts and feelings towards the game and your score predictions, of course. Let's jump across to the team sheet and have a little play around with that. Alrighty then, so this was the team that started in our defeat against Villa. Now, I thought it was set up horrifically. I thought the personnel was okay. I think should have played this with a back four, putting Morato left back, Williams right back, Eminem in the middle, moving Dominguez into the middle, going a 4-3-2-1 if you like in that formation. But that's been and gone, and I'm hoping that Nuno's learned from that and he's not going to try these experiments like this late into the season, putting Dominguez as a right wing back. It's not the time, man. Save it for pre-season. So I think the first thing we can say with certainty is that this formation changes back to a back four. And the key driver of this, I'm just going to remove a couple of names, is because we can now pick Moreno. So let's just clear this up a little and set it up into a back four. I think Williams will be moved to right back, and I think Moreno comes in at left back, and it's a more orthodox back four for me. Now, in terms of the midfield, still a headache for me. I think if Elanga doesn't start, we'll see a 4-3-2-1. If he does start, it'll be a 4-2-3-1. So I'll talk you through both of those. So let's go with the first option where Elanga doesn't start. I'm expecting Wood will start. I'll update you guys on Patreon if I do hear differently and he is fit or not. I'm expecting him to start. So make sure you signed up on Patreon. In terms of what else happens, I mean, how many we got here? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, cool. I can put an extra player. I would actually bring Sangare in for this game. And I'll explain why. Everton are not a pacey team. They're more of a physical team. If you're not going to use Sangare in Everton, then just sell him tomorrow. Because this is the type of pace of a game that will suit him. It's a bit more physical. It's a bit slower in terms of their midfield. And I think he can dictate the play. So I would look at bringing Sangare in. Yates, for me, needs a breather. He has had way too many minutes, especially those long ones against Brighton in the cup, etc. So I'd give Yates a little breather. And then it's between really Dominguez and Danilo. Now, Danilo's had the least of the minutes out of those midfield players. I just don't think form-wise he can be risked. So I'll probably start with Dominguez. And I think Dominguez has had a good end to the last kind of few weeks of the season, obviously taking out the Villa match. So I think that's probably the strongest team we should look at doing against Everton. And I think that team does work quite nicely. You'll have Sangare as that deep-lying playmaker. Dominguez and Anderson will be the energy around him, the legs around him. And then Morgan Gibbs-White and Hudson-Odoi, they can interplay. And then what I'd like to see in that second half is the switch into the 4-2-3-1. And then when the Everton players are maybe tiring a little, you bring on the likes of Elanga, who can shake it up, who can stretch their back line, etc. So what I would move into in the second half is probably take Sangare off. I doubt he's got 90 minutes in the tank. Bring Anderson and Dominguez into the middle. You could then bring Yates on. Chuck Hudson-Odoi out on the left. Gibbs-White in the middle. And then bring Elanga, obviously if he's fit enough to make the bench. And I think that's the strategy we need. Keep it nice and tight in the first half. Everton won't want the ball, because with the home team, this may be the first time that Gisele's getting the ball and punting it long forward. They're just going to punt it straight back to us because they want us to have the ball. So Forest are going to need a couple of playmakers in that midfield. But those are the two teams I'd go. Some of you maybe would start with this. Some of you maybe would start with the back three. I don't know. Let me know what you would do in the comments down below. So how do I see this one playing out? This is going to be a bit like we said on the preview with Mike. I think this is going to be two similar style teams meeting, but with one of them whose counter-attacks are quicker and more progressive and snappier in the transaction because of the pace we have. Obviously, I'm talking about Forest when it comes to that. I think Everton have got good physicality up and down their team. From the back line, Branthwaite, O'Brien, I really like those two. Decore, as much as Everton Mike doesn't like him, he still can go out physical. And Idrissa Gana Gueye, as old as he's getting, I still think is doing a good job for them in that midfield. And then you got Beto up front, who may not be the most clinical, but has found a purple patch for a little period under Moyes. But again, is another physical one that I would want Milenkovic coming up against rather than Murillo. Where they don't have the pace for me is out wide. Now, you'll probably see McNeil coming back in. I think he's fit. He's a danger man. He scored against Forest last year. I'm sure it was last year. Remind me. I think it was just before Cooper got sacked. Everton beat us 1-0. My memory's going. I think that's right. He's one that always does worry me when we play it against them. But the key to this game is who is going to have the ball and who is going to be playing off the ball. Because both teams want to play off the ball, just as I said a couple of minutes ago when we were going through the team sheet. I think you're going to find that we end up with the ball and that Everton will look to counter-attack. And that's why I think Sangare is going to be pivotal to this. This could be finally, maybe, and I know you lot are going to have a go at me in the comments, the game that we see the Sangare we bought. He has no more excuses really left. One, obviously he would need to start for this to happen. But two, we're coming on to nearly 2 seasons at Forest now, and I haven't seen him have a run in the team for more than a handful of games. And this game will suit him. I think Forest can win this, but I don't think it'll be high scoring. I don't even think it's going to be an attractive match on the eye. And honestly, I don't really care. As long as we get the points at this stage of the season, put the points on the board, we can discuss the performance and how pretty it was and everything on Grumpy Old Reds the following day. You guys can get your thoughts in the player ratings and all that good stuff. Get me 3 points on the board. This one's either 0-0 or 1-0 to Forest. But I want my 3 points. So I'm going to say Forest 1, Everton 0. Who's going to score? Sangare from 30 yards? I don't know. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. Go check out the preview with Everton Mike. It's hilarious. He's a legend. We'll see you for the watch along tomorrow. Come on, you Reds.